Okay, welcome to the Crow Discovery Project. We shot the moon last night and we shot 3 objects. I will include one of those objects at the end of this clip. Also, I'm going to cover satellites in the coming eclipse. There's some interesting stuff to know about there. Also, the Russian translation, for those of you who have been following, the Russian translation of the web page and email are being done by a few people, and some of the people are really adding some interesting things. Primarily, I'm very interested in the equinox and Easter stuff, and also the outer and inner faces of the moon that this gentleman talks about. And he does have some pretty serious degrees across 5 or 6 sciences. So anyhow, let's get into this. We're going to start with the satellites during the eclipse. There are always more during eclipses. I mean, a lot more. And I have demonstrated in the past that these eclipses are being manipulated. Okay, so here is the night last night where we shot the 3 objects that I'm going to post today. And as you can see, there's always a few satellites around. I couldn't match any to the objects that we shot last night, not directly. But look at the difference. Just not that many satellites compared to the amount of satellites we see every time there's a lunar eclipse. So, yeah. Okay, so this will be the night of the eclipse, March 5th. Not all of us will be able to see it, but what I wanted to show you is look at this. As we have seen with the past 2 lunar eclipses, there are satellites everywhere and a constant line of them coming by over the moon in this view, but just satellites coming from every direction. And in my other clips where I showed what I feel is manipulation of the eclipses and filmed a lunar wave during an eclipse, as a matter of fact, we saw hundreds, literally hundreds of objects transiting the moon during the eclipse. And here again on this coming eclipse, there is a constant line of satellites right by the moon. Okay, so a few people are working on the Russian translations. There are some very interesting stuff coming out, and we will make available those translations here. Here is the gentleman who's responsible for much of the writing that we found. A remarkable individual. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2011, it seems. Nonetheless, we should take a look at everything this guy's written. It's incredible. Coming in at the upper left, it's going to be very quick. And there it goes. I'm going to slow it down and take some different views. Here he comes again, up at the upper left, slowed down to 50%. And there he comes in. This is the worst of the 3 objects I filmed last night, so I figured I'd tackle it first. Coming in at the upper left, and that's slowed down to 30%. The other 2 objects are very interesting. One of them has the typical speed blur that I have been talking about, which makes me question distance. And here he comes again, same spot, upper left. That's probably the least appealing view. I've got a better one coming up here. And we'll take 2 more views of this. Here he comes in again, and by the way, I drew a line. It's a perfectly straight trajectory, so he's almost certainly in orbit around us, not the moon. I doubt very seriously if we're shooting anything that far. And here is the original clip slightly zoomed, and here he comes in for the last time. Slowed down quite a bit. So the other 2 objects I'm going to post right behind this. They're more interesting. We have a better view of them. That's why I tackled this one first. He's not in frame very long, and he's just moving very quickly. I'm real excited to get the Examiner stuff, and everybody out there, get out your cameras. Roll film on the moon from now until 4, 5, 2, 3 days after Easter. I just published an article to the Examiner about UFOs. In particular, I talk about the silliness of the Blue Book file release and its effects on the UFO community. So come join me at the Examiner. The description to get there is the link to get there is down the description of this video. Subscribe to the author, and I'll see you there. Cheers.